You are watching ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Last week at the U.S. Championships in Philadelphia, the American Olympic team was decided. It's an all-star lineup. Todd Eldridge, Michelle Kwan, Tara Lipinski, Nicole Bobek, and Michael Weiss. But which Europeans will challenge them in Nagano? The Russian men, with their balletic style and daring technique, dominate. Plushenko, Apt, Yagudin. Equally daunting, the ladies, Slutskaya, and Germany's Tanja Szwechenko. The Duomo Cathedral in the heart of Milan, Italy. For more than 4 centuries, one of the world's great Gothic structures. Inside, room for 40,000 to catch a glimpse. The Romans left their mark here, too, in a city where nothing is ever done on a small scale, including the shopping malls. And just outside the center of Milan, we are inside the Fila Forum, and we welcome you to our coverage of the 1998 European Figure Skating Championships. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. With the upcoming Olympics in the back of their minds, the best figure skaters in Europe have come here to Milan for the final competition before they head to Nagano for the Olympics. Today, we bring you the men's and ladies' championships. We'll be with you again next week here on ABC when the pairs and ice dancers take the ice. Now, a little bit later in the show, it will be the ladies out on the ice. We bring in Olympic champion Peggy Fleming. I don't think there's any question, Peggy, when you look ahead to the Olympic Games, Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski will be the favorites. Is there anyone here in Milan that can challenge them?
Well, Terry, the biggest threat to Tara and Michelle are Tara and Michelle. But there is a wonderful story coming out of Europe this season. Germany's Tanja Szwechenko, who was off the ice for almost 2 years with a blood virus, has returned sensationally. She has won every international event she's entered this year, except for the Champions Series finals, where she placed second behind Tara Lipinski. Although her practices this week have been a little rocky, Tanja is riding a wave of confidence that could bring her the European title. There are 2 Russian ladies who can vie for European gold here in Milan as well. We'll hear more about them later. See you a little bit later in the show. Right now, we turn our attention back to the men's championship. The short program has already taken place. In comes 2-time Olympic gold medalist Dick Button. I think it's Yagudin, Apt, and Plushenko at the top of the standings right now. It reads like a Russian roll call.
Yeah, but that's only an incomplete roll call because the top Russian skater, Ilya Kulik, is not here. He's out ostensibly with a back problem. But remember one other thing. Even without him, this competition should probably see the biggest explosion of quadruple jumps this season. But remember one other thing. There's many a slip twixt the cup and the lip. And the big question will be which of these skaters, or all of them, will be able to complete those quadruples cleanly. At the National Championships just a week ago, Todd Eldridge fell on his quadruple, and Michael Weiss two-footed his. But Todd didn't need that quadruple in order to win his title. Well, at Nagano and the Winter Games, Mount Olympus may see a traffic jam with all the godlike young skaters that are there, and it just may be that the quadruple will be the deciding factor.
Well, so far, the Russian flag flying high here. Yagudin, Apt, and Plushenko, the top 3 spots. Most likely, though, only one of those skaters will go to the Olympic Games. Plushenko from Germany in 4th, and Dimitrenko of Ukraine rounds out the top 5 heading into the free skate. And there's a look at Philippe Candeloro of France, the first skater that we will see on the ice. In 9th place after the short program. He has plenty of fans and critics, but one thing has always remained constant. He's done it his way. In life, he is predictably French. A perfectionist in the art of living. In his mind, boredom is the worst sin imaginable. But on the ice, the natural showman is a study in contrast. Philippe Candeloro has sipped from the fountain of success. In '94, an Olympic bronze. But little has gone right for Candeloro on the ice since, and he hit bottom at the '96 World Championships. Critics believe he had become too commercial.
Philippe, the businessman, could have a problem with Philippe artists because Philippe artists have to skate.
But Philippe was unable to skate for long stretches over the past 2 years. A nagging ankle injury robbed him of what he loves to do most, perform and compete. The rehab was long and lonely at times, and now at 26, he finds himself at a critical juncture.
The ice skating is a very hard sport without nothing. But with one injury, it's terrible. Because they take your life, they take your soup, and it's very hard to skate with something that disturbs your mind. Very hard.
But skate he must, because the man who ignited France's skating resurgence now shoulders his country's dream, the most visible hope for the Bleu, Blanc, et Rouge.
They didn't know skating before, so when they have seen my medal and my performance, they love the skating. And if the people love my skating, and they give me back this love. And I skate much better when I have more people love me.
The demands that come with being a star. Fortunately, Philippe's girlfriend of 5 years, Olivia, understands.
She has always seen the girls like me, but she has not a lot of nerves. Little bit because she's jealous because she loves me, of course, and hopefully for me. But she supports me a lot, and it's very important for me, I think.
Quintessential Candeloro, never too far from the edge, and when it comes to the future, always philosophical.
I wait for something better, maybe. But I tell you, if it is not coming, that's the life. That's the life.
The injury last year, this year at the French National Championships, he had the flu and did not skate. Philippe Candeloro of France nearing the end of his eligible career. But you can always say this about him, no matter what he does, he is interesting on the ice. In 9th place, hoping to move up, perhaps with a huge effort, get on the podium.
Now the music is the Three Musketeers, and he plays D'Artagnan. To be able to do his triple jumps. He had a terrible practice earlier today, but in the practice warm-up here, he was pulling things off left and right. Here's the triple axel. Beautiful. That's just like him. You want to kill him. He can just fall all over the place, and then he turns around and under pressure does something absolutely brilliant. He has no style, no pointed feet, nothing except enormous presence and star quality. Look at this. I just don't believe this guy. I mean, he's wonderful.
And Dick, you remember last year, before the Europeans, he had the ankle injury, ended up winning a silver medal with a great performance to Napoleon. Always has themes to his program. Napoleon, Three Musketeers, The Godfather, 1, 2, and 3.
See the sword playing and hear it as well. 3 on the end, but that's a very minor deduction. See, the problem he had was in the short program when he did fine technical merit right up until the very end and then lost it on that dangerous forward edge double axel.
This free skate lasting 4.5 minutes and worth 2/3 of the overall score. Weiss Candeloro has been the silver medalist at the European Championships, including last year. Even though he was in 4th place after the short program last year.
Triple loop. When he gets his dander up, he can do the jumps. His technique is so weak that many times he can't without the force of that dander. Straight line step and very evocative of going to do it or not, but this is a second triple axel he may have planned. He did, and I got to tell you, I really take my hat off to him. Good for you. Good for you. Good for him. You know, he's really been a guy who has just struggled through one of the weirdest sets of techniques I've ever seen in skating. He's the only guy who ever could spin on both ankles, taking his blades off completely, and have that move outruled by the skating federation. He has star presence on the ice, and he's first rate.
Had an awful practice this afternoon, but he's French. The man needs an audience. Philippe Candeloro playing to the house here in Milan.
Now, look at how he steps into this first triple axel. Good arms as he lifts himself up into the air. That's what so many skaters like Tara Lipinski don't have. And that's what gets him up in time to do the full and complete revolution. Most of the men have that. Here is the triple Lutz. He didn't reach back far enough, got him off angle. He did 2-3 turns at the end and didn't do the original 2-jump combination that he had planned, but that won't take anything off.
5-5, 5-6. There are certain people who are just gamers. They save their best for when they're under the lights, and Candeloro is one of those. First set of marks for technical merit, they range from 5.4 up to 5.7.
And those are very strong marks. But they're not probably strong enough to pull him all the way up. But he really got wonderful quality with his jump.
And Dick, look at the presentation marks. 5.6 all the way up to a perfect 6.0.
And of course, that's the Belgian judge. You know, I don't know what to say about him.
Well, Philippe Candeloro, a great way to get started. Back to Milan in a bit, but first we take you to John Saunders in our Wide World of Sports studios in New York. John?
Next to skate from Russia, Alexei Yagudin.
Welcome back inside the Fila Forum here in Milan. And here is our leader after the short program, Alexei Yagudin of Russia. Third in the world a year ago.
Now, in the practice session early this morning, he was having trouble. He was on edge. He seemed somewhat uncomfortable. He kept trying to get things going. Maybe he's uncomfortable with being in first place. Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of pressure on him. The music, Troika.
Well, he won a brown at the World Championships last year. He's never won the Russian National Championships, and he's never finished higher than 5th at Europeans.
He's a phenomenal jumper and a very precise skater, a hard trainer and a hard worker. This is his triple axel. Oh, that was, and a triple toe loop on it. Now, that was impressive.
And Dickey does plan to attempt the quad jump.
He did it. He was a full edge coming out. I'm not sure whether they'll give him credit for that, because at the very end of the back edge, he was unable to hold it and did a double three turn. But certainly in my book, that was a full revolution jump and landed almost perfectly. This triple axel, oh, look at the openness just before he lands. That's where he had height, turning, revolution, and then openness before he came down. That's the way a jump should be done.
Getting a great look at one of those who should be in Nagano for the Olympics. Not Eldridge, Michael Weiss, the Americans. Remember, no American has ever done a quad jump in competition. The Russian Federation has not announced their team yet. They'll do that after Europeans, but you have to believe Ilya Kulik, the national champion, will be there. Most believe Yagudin will.
Sit spin, back sit spin. Sort of a poor man's Rudy Galindo mood. Well, I've got to tell you, that was one of the best progressions of triple jumps I've ever, and quadruple jumps that I've ever seen. He's really a very interesting skater. It's hard to forget that he's 17 years old. Ultimately, it was a very interesting program, but in the long run, it did not quite hold up. It was not quite as thrilling as I know it will be when he gets more experience.
Well, unless someone else has at least a quad in their arsenal, you're looking at the new European champion. Back with the marks of Alexei Yagudin in a moment. Alexei Yagudin of Russia led after the short program. He should lead after he hears his marks, too.
Well, look at this quadruple toe loop. Watch him. First, he'll turn a 3, step to the other edge. Now, toe pick into the air, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and he lands on a back outside edge, but great trouble there holding that edge. If he'd pulled back his right shoulder, it would have helped him. But what a brilliant attempt. I mean, he's really an exceedingly talented young skater.
First set of marks for technical merit, 5/8 and 5/9 for Yagudin.
And those just were wonderful marks, and deservedly so.
Presentation too, Dick, 5/8 and 5/9, and he has set the standard. They're going to try to chase him the rest of the way.
Well, I think he could still improve his style and his presentation and learn to sustain excitement of performance excitement throughout the whole program. But that'll come. Brilliant for a 17-year-old.
If not the present, he is the future of Russian skating. Evgeny Plushenko, only 15 years of age, the junior world champion at 97.
If he does the quad, it will be the very first move. It will be a quad toe, quadruple toe loop jump. Here it is. And it looks like a beauty with a triple toe on top of it.
We spent a week in Philadelphia where there were no quadruple jumps. At least in the free skate, that's the only place that you can attempt them. And already 2 before our eyes here in Milan.
And this a triple axel. Oh, that was clean and neat, and a triple toe loop. That was extraordinary. I'm not sure whether the quad toe was clean from where I'm sitting. I couldn't quite see the way the feet landed, but slow motion I think will tell us that. Triple loop jump. And if he did indeed 2-foot it, that would be the same thing that Michael Weiss did at the U.S. Championships in Philadelphia last week.
Szwechenko's story is one that is certainly worth telling. He grew up very poor in southeastern Russia. When he was 11 years old, the only ice rink there in which he trained shut down. And his mother moved to St. Petersburg, and that's where they both live in a one-room apartment. Trains under Alexei Mishin, who also is the coach for Alexei Yagudin, and the current Olympic champion, Alexei Romanov.
This goes right into a cat foot position. He can do a Bielmann spin with a great deal of ease. As they come. And this is the so-called Bielmann spin. Straight line footwork. Sections of steps like that are required in all of these competitions. Final spin, combination spin, again a Bielmann. He keeps the speed going so nicely. That's what makes it good. And the rest of the spin not sustaining as it should have. But what a performance for a 15-year-old. I mean, he's really Russia's male answer to Tara Lipinski.
Tough to find fault with him, too. Evgeny Plushenko in third place after the short program. He may move up. We'll have his marks when we come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching the European Figure Skating Championships on ABC Sports.
Back in Milan, under the watchful eye of the Lost in Space girls, there's Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia in third place after the short program and dazzling the crowd in this.
Look at this quadruple right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. But watch the landing. It's two-footed. That crossed foot toe just removed the effect of that jump and kept him from getting full credit for it. Same thing Michael Weiss did, but this jump was just wonderful. A triple axel, triple toe loop. That was really first-rate and superb.
So Alexei Yagudin, also from Russia, leads right now. Plushenko's marks for technical merit, 5.7 up to 5.9.
Well, he did some really wonderful jumps. I think overall his technique, and particularly in his spins, could be improved.
Presentation marks 5.7 to 5.9 as well. It's a heck of an effort in his first trip to the European Championships. He's in second place.
It's pretty smashing for a 15-year-old kid, isn't it?
So the Russian assault continues as we are down to the final skater of the evening, Alexander Apt, 21 years old, and in second place after the short program, the only one with a chance to catch Alexei Yagudin at the top.
Knees. Watch as he does this first triple axel. Beautiful height. Triple toe loop. That was an extraordinary combination. It was very fluid skating. And this will be his attempt at a quadruple. Did not complete it.
Which may be enough to keep him off the first step of the podium at least. Alexei Yagudin, the leader. followed by Evgeny Plushenko, the other young Russian, and then Andrei Plushenko in third place.
Now, you see, he fell out of that one, too. If this continues, it can really sort of throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into the works. See, that flying camel position, not the best. Bent leg position doesn't quite work as well, although he does have a very kind of dancey feel to his skating, which is very nice. It's music from Armenia, Egypt, and Iran by a whole group of composers.
To reinforce how deep the Russian men's team is, Abt came in fourth at the recent Russian Nationals.
We don't see that kind of a move very often. A tap spin, we used to see them all the time, believe it or not, in the 1950s and 60s. They've disappeared from skating now.
Rick, only 2 years ago at this event, I remember discussing the fact that with the breakup of the Soviet Union, the skaters spread across in the other republics, the Russian team wouldn't be as strong. They certainly are this year.
They're a juggernaut of powerful, young, not yet mature, fully mature skaters. Now that everybody could see was intended to be a triple Lutz. It ended up being a double Lutz.
Abt kind of disappeared from the competitive scene for about 2.5 seasons with injuries after we first really noticed him at Skate America a few years ago.
Two-footed triple loop jump. This program unusual, different. But it's not singing with performance, although that was a very, very good triple Salchow. And a fall off at the end. This was a very interesting choice of music, unusual and offbeat. I think it's a little difficult for our ears to quite get the full impact of it. And as a result, I don't think this program was as effective as it could be. Now, watch him toe pick into this quadruple toe. 1, 2, only 3 turns. It lands going forward, double foots, can't hold the landing, falls out of it, and there ain't no points there, as they say.
He was a last-minute replacement for Ilya Kulik, who says his back is injured here at Europeans, and even he was surprised to be in second place after the short program. With the first set of marks here, Dick, 5.3 up to 5.7.
And not spectacular marks. I think it's basically because he was kind of sloppy through the program, and that kind of hurt him.
And now the marks for presentation, 5.4 to 5.8, and Abt drops from second to third place behind Evgeny Plushenko, and it's Alexei Yagudin, the 17-year-old from Russia, who wins his first European championship.
And what a juggernaut the entire Russian team was. Very strong and very powerful and very young.
So for the first time in history, Russians finished 1, 2, 3 at the European Championships, and the only one over 20 years of age, Alexander Abt. Philippe Candeloro jumps all the way from 9th to finish 5th with a great free skate. But the story here, the young 17-year-old, confident for 2 weeks, he said he would be on the Olympic team. It may not be official but he should be there along with Ilya Kulik. We're not done yet, though. Up next, the ladies decide their championship when we return to the Fila Forum in Milan. Thanks, John. We are back inside the Fila Forum here in Milan, set for the ladies' championship to be decided. Top skaters on the ice warming up. Of course, last week in Philadelphia, the U.S. titles were on the line. The American Olympic team's chosen. Can anyone here emerge to challenge Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski? Well, there's Tanja Szwechenko. Without question, the most compelling story in Milan. Back off an illness that nearly killed her. Most people think she and Nicole Bobek may challenge for that bronze medal in Nagano. Five-time European champion Surya of France. She told the press last night that she was sick and she was going to withdraw from the competition. So far, she's on the ice and looks like she's going to compete today. A check of the standings heading into the free skate. Szwechenko tries to continue that remarkable comeback. Surya in second, and then it's Irina Slutskaya, who has won this title the past 2 years. She and Maria Butirskaya, who's in fifth, they're trying to nail down spots on the Russian Olympic team. And the first skater on the ice here in the free skate that we will see is Irina Slutskaya. 2 years ago, she became the first Russian woman ever to win the European title. She has now won it 2 years in a row, but has not had the kind of season that she had hoped for. Still trying to make the Russian Olympic team and get back into, say, the top 3 or 4 women in the world.
But watch the athleticism that she has, and also watch the fact that she doesn't always stand up straight or have the best sense of performance.
But she does have huge jumps and good speed on her spin. That's her main focus when she does her program.
On this opening combination that she does, the triple Lutz, watch the arm position. Right here. Now watch the arms, right there. Hold, and then the jump. I think that must make it very difficult for her to do that jump.
I think she's just focusing on her technique, trying to get in the right position. And now her second triple, a triple Salchow.
That was a
Supposedly
combination.
A triple loop, yes.
Yes.
But she double-footed the triple loop.
She certainly got nice height on that.
Yes, she did.
She has a very good sense of spring. When she skates like this, the back crossovers would be much improved if she would stand up straight. Good revolution in that. She's a very athletic young lady. And it's that athleticism that has won her the championships in the past.
You remember 2 years ago in Sofia, Bulgaria, Dick, when she first won this title, how innocent she looked, how young that smile looked. Well, she's now 18 years old, and she came in 4th at the recent Russian National Championships.
But I think this section really shows her immaturity and lack of style compared to Michelle Kwan, who was 17, a year younger than Irina. Just stroking around how she rounds her back.
Now look at this position of the spiral. She could take a lesson from either Nicole Bobek, Tara Lipinski, or Michelle Kwan on that. This one just slightly better. A lot of arm movements. Triple loop jump, triple toe loop, triple toe loop, double toe loop. That should have been a triple loop. It was a double. She's changing the choreography around here, and that may be unnerving to her.
Even with some of the problems she's had, remember, if you're in the top three when you get into the free skate and you win that portion of the competition, you are the overall champion.
There was that triple loop and a very bad fallout of the position. This her final combination spin with Bielman positions.
She can do this on both legs. There it goes up again. Well, not her best performance.
The problem is that she's essentially a very good athlete, but has absolutely no sense of performance or presentation.
Trying to get things together to make the Russian Olympic team. We'll have the marks of Irina Slutskaya when we return to Milan, and then the overall leader, Tanja Szwechenko, takes the ice. To go, Irina Slutskaya of Russia, receiving marks of 5.1 to 5.7. She was in third after the short program. We'll see if she can hold on to stand on the podium. Well, there's Tanja Szwechenko getting ready to skate, the current leader. Last year, she wasn't even competing, let alone being talked about as one of the world's best. Her fight to return to the ice has been an inspiring one. It was a young career filled with promise. Her dreams began to appear possible. But by the time Tanja Szwechenko skated to a sixth-place finish at the '96 World Championships, her body told her there was definitely something wrong.
I slept a lot, almost 16, 17 hours a day, and yeah, I felt really bad. Sometimes I thought, oh my God, that's like dying, and because I felt so bad, and I was really scared at this time.
In September 1996, a German immunologist diagnosed her with a combination of debilitating viruses, and the news from the doctor only grew more depressing.
He said to me that he's not sure if I can skate again, if I can do sports again, and that was really hard for me. I cried a lot of times, and I was praying and hoping and all this stuff.
Too weak to skate for more than a few minutes, Tanja was out of competition for 19 months. Most doubted she would ever contend for a medal again. But with the support from her family and coach, Tanja began to believe in herself and her potential. Just a month ago, in her home country, Tanja Szwechenko surprised everyone, including herself.
I couldn't believe it. After every jump, I thought, oh my God, you did it again, and at the end, getting the result. I never thought that I can be so good.
Her effort at the Champion Series final when she finished second to Tara Lipinski, she said, was her best performance ever. And by the way, she used the prize money to pay her doctor bills.
But she has a very attractive quality on the ice. Her skating personality is really charming and ingratiating.
And I think this is great music for her. It's the soundtrack to Speed, and beautifully choreographed by Diana Goulstein.
The leader trying to win her first European championship.
She has a very vulnerable and delicate kind of presence on the ice. Certainly not the attacking strength that you see in Tara Lipinski, nor even the style of Michelle Kwan, but a very lovely personality and presentation. Look at this triple Lutz. Now, she has had those perfectly done all week long. This was the first time that I've seen her lean forward and touch her hand to the ice. She has wonderful spring in the air.
Now a triple toe. Nice. She makes it look effortless. It just springs up in the air very nicely.
Tanja, 20 years of age. She won a bronze medal at the '94 World Championships. But it was soon after that that she began to feel her illness. Rare combination of viruses. And it is a miracle that she's back on the ice competing at this point. A year ago, no one thought she would be here.
Triple loop jump. These jumps are not quite coming off as well as she's been doing them in practice or in the previous championships this year. Now watch again this second triple lutz. Watch the reach back of the leg right there. It doesn't go back very far, and that must make it difficult for her to get the height and the distance in order to complete the revolution.
It looks like the rhythm is just a little off for her.
She's a very ladylike skater.
She's very relaxed out here, holds her moves very nicely. Well-paced program. Triple Salchow.
Spin combination. The last position. Sort of bent over.
She looks a little slow at this point.
The weakest jump that she has is the double axel. Watch the edge that she takes here and the way she faces into it. No lift off, no double axel.
She appears to be a little tired. And her final jump, a triple toe, double toe combination she has planned. Triple toe, double toe. She relaxed into it and just went for it.
The final scratch spin. You know, the pressure here must be enormous on her. She's proven herself to be very competitive this entire fall, and this was a slight letdown from the normal standard.
It took a miracle for her to just get here, but it may take another one for her to hold the lead. We'll have her marks after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching the European Figure Skating Championships on ABC Sports.
5, 6, 5. She won 3 of the 4 major competitions in which she skated this year. This wasn't her best effort, but here are the judges' marks for Tanja Szwechenko. For technical merit, 5.3 up to 5.8.
Most of them 5.4, only 2 5.8.
This is her triple lutz at the beginning of the program where she had some trouble, obviously touched down on it. She didn't get the spring out of her takeoff as she normally does on that beautiful jump.
And Peggy, the presentation marks 5.5 to 5.8. So Tanja Szwechenko is now in second place, right behind the two-time champion Irina Slutskaya. So there is room at the top. Irina Slutskaya over Tanja Szwechenko, and here is Maria Butirskaya, the 5-time Russian national champion. She won it again this year, and she has won a bronze medal at the European Championship and has been one of the top skaters for a number of years now.
Well, even though she looks very serious in her skating, she is very gentle to the ice, but she can also be very inconsistent.
right now, but a year ago she was in 9th place after the short program and pulled all the way up to 4th.
Have this championship wide open. Look at this triple Lutz.
Nice.
Slight bent on the landing.
But she hit some beautiful positions while she's skating. She has beautiful lines.
Triple toe loop. Triple flip, rather.
Good stretch on this camel, change camel.
I like the bent knee look to the back spin. Presentation. She has a presence on the ice that so many of the younger skaters don't have.
Triple Salchow. Triple toe.
She's also been a young lady who has been both on or off, having some very disastrous performances this fall, and this looks like it might be one of her better ones.
I think this season she's skating with a new determination. Maybe that's because the Olympics are just such a short time away.
And she will definitely be one of those who Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski will have to defeat in Nagano. 3 spots for the Russian ladies. She should definitely have one of those. As you know, if you're not in the top 3 going into the free skate, you need help. Someone else has to defeat the leader. And that's already happened. Slutskaya is ahead of Szwechenko.
Triple loop.
But with Butrskaya being in 5th place, we may have one of those situations where the ordinals change and the athletes end up all over the lot in different positions, disrupting the final placement.
It all depends on where the judges place skaters. Really, the marks are nowhere near as important as the placement of ordinals.
This is a lovely performance so far. She's really doing her best.
Remember Surya in 2nd place after the short program. And she skates next, the final skater.
Her final combination, a double axel. She did have planned some other triples.
This the final combination spin.
Nice position. Very different.
This is... Did you notice how she filled at the end? She filled the program. She took away some junk and had to fill out the music.
She's very happy with
Some
herself.
very angular moves, but she covers them up with some very elegant positions.
Can Maria Butrskaya jump from 5th all the way to 1st? We'll find out when we come back to Milan. Jump from 5th place to 1st place? Well, we're going to find out. The technical merit marks for Maria Butrskaya was a 5.3, the rest in the 5.6, 5.7 area.
Well, only one was in the 5.3s, and that shows very, very good marks for her. A strong position.
And it was wonderful to see her skate so well. She was very proud of herself.
Very elegant quality there, wasn't there?
And the presentation marks 5.8s, 5.9s. Guess what? Maria Butrskaya is in 1st place over Slutskaya and Szwechenko. What a jump. But it is far from over. Surya There were questions about whether she would make it here today. She told everyone she was sick. She was going to withdraw from the competition. Now she tries to tie Katarina Witt and Sonia Henny, having won this title 6 times.
Well, there's nothing like skating with an audience aroused, and it is now.
She skated a very clean, short program.
But just like her, she's changed her program at the very last minute. She's now skating to Vivaldi's 4 seasons. And look at the way she pulls off that double axel from a practically standing position.
She's a very acrobatic type jumper. She doesn't need the speed. She just pops up in the air.
The only half-decent split jump, triple jump combination that we've seen yet in this competition. She's not unlike Felipe Candeloro, who can pull it off under the most incredible circumstances. She really has pizzazz.
Triple Salchow, triple toe.
I mean, I almost expected to see her do her classical one-foot flip, which is disallowed in this competition.
Well, when the seats are filled, the French show up. And it's ironic because Surya wasn't even supposed to be here in Milan. She's a last-minute replacement for Laetitia Hubert, who is the current French national champion, who is out with an injury. A year ago, Europeans was her first event coming off an injury.
Double loop. I think she played that very carefully. If you notice her boots, you'll see that they're taped onto her feet. You'll also notice that one boot, the sole is black, and the other is light. It's almost a statement of saying boots and skates by her mother. I quite frequently see her sitting off on the side of the rink, screwing them on differently, changing them, retaping them, doing all kinds of things at the very last moment.
But the boot that has the tape on it is her landing foot. Maybe that gives it a little extra strength.
She's complained of being tired, saying that she wasn't ready for this championship.
Well, I think it's very difficult to change a program at the last minute like this. It's hard to know and pace your breathing through a routine that you're not that familiar with.
Now that alone could cost her this championship. But you can see she's slowing down.
Remember, though, Slutskaya was in 5th after the short program, jumped all the way to 1st, and Surya Bonali in 2nd coming into the free skate. So you combine the two. Slutskaya needed a huge effort to get there.
That would have been a triple Lutz. It looked like she withdrew from it at the very last second.
It looked like she was too close to the board. Ran out of space.
This program is falling apart. I hate to say it.
It's very difficult to do, changing at the last minute.
And even that jump, although completed, had a very low back on the landing.
Well, a program that lost momentum about halfway through, and the crowd lost all of its momentum, too. Whether Bonali is involved or not, the scramble at the top will be an interesting one. We'll have it when we return to Milan. So Surya Bonali, along with her mother, 5-time European champion, and the marks for technical merit.
Well, they're very low because she really didn't complete anything, and the second part of the program was almost falling apart. Brilliant at the beginning, though. Brilliant.
And this was the worst mistake, her fall on this triple flip.
And that's one of those falls where you stop completely.
Yeah.
You don't bounce and get on up and continue. Disrupts the flow of the event as well.
And for presentation, 5.0 to 5.5, Surya falls all the way down to 6, and it's Maria Butirskaya who jumps from 5th all the way up to 1st, and she is the new European ladies champion. Right behind her, Irina Slutskaya, who has won this event 2 years in a row. Now she captures the silver medal, and Tanja Szwechenko was in first after the short program. She does hang on to stand on the podium. She catches the bronze. That's the story here in Milan. Now let's take you back to John Saunders at our Wide World of Sports studios in New York.
Pasha Grishuk and Evgeny Platov. Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov. Russian teammates, Russian rivals. Now, the duel has turned bitter. Krylova and Ovsyannikov no longer content watching their countrymen dance off with the gold, turn up the heat here in Milan. It's a Russian tango with no challengers in sight. Just over a year ago, she could barely speak or walk, much less skate. Today, Yelena Berezhnaya and her partner Anton Sikaridlidze defy the odds of devastating injury and brain surgery. Their style, discipline, and ability continue to erase the scars and put them in place to carry on the great Russian legacy of pair skating. The finest figure skaters in all of Europe have made their way to Milan, Italy, where daily life takes place in the shadow of great achievements of the past, where Da Vinci lived and created. His home just a short walk from the church that houses one of his great masterpieces, The Last Supper. And a few miles from the city center, we welcome you inside the Fila Forum to our continuing coverage of the 1998 European Figure Skating Championships. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. We'll have the pairs competition for you a little later in the show, but first up, it's ice dancing, featuring the reigning Olympic, world, and European champions, Pasha Grishuk and Evgeny Platov. They're also the favorites for Olympic gold this year, and they came here to Milan having won 20 consecutive competitions. That's what makes what happened in the original dance so surprising and shocking. Not long after taking the ice, this fall left Evgeny sprawled on the ice, and it immediately changed the atmosphere surrounding the entire event. It opened the way for fellow Russians, Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov, to grab the lead. And this is the first time they have ever led Grishuk and Platov in a major competition heading into the free dance. With me, as always, two-time Olympic champion, Mr. Dick Button. Dick, change and upset isn't supposed to happen like this in ice dancing. And on top of that, the two Russian teams, there's not much love lost there.
Well, of course not. And that's because ice dancing really seethes with bitter feelings. I mean, it's like a Wild West catfight just waiting to erupt. And the most flamboyant figure of all is right in the middle of all this, and that's Oksana Grishuk, who has managed in the very recent past to, 1, dye her hair blonde and then complain when she told she looks like Oksana Bayul. 2, change her name from Oksana to Pasha because she doesn't want to sound like Oksana Bayul and because Pasha means passion. 3, become embroiled in romantic situations that end up getting her face pushed in the soup in fancy restaurants. 4, dyeing her skates the color of blueberry yogurt. 5, hiring an agent and announcing her as yet forthcoming movie stardom. And 6, finally continuing to win absolutely every competition that she's entered. But remember one thing, Krylova and Ovsyannikov are phenomenal dancers too, and this is now a level battlefield. Just try to keep the two apart until the skating's over.
Well, the battle is set, heading into the free dance. That's not a mistake. Krylova and Ovsyannikov lead over Grishuk and Platov. It would be their first win ever over that team. And Asina and Pezera, the French team, in third, trying to hang on to the bronze medal. They have not lost since the 1994 European Championships to Torvill and Dean. Taking the ice right now, the skater formerly known as Oksana, Pasha Grishuk, and Evgeny Platov of Russia.
The music, Memorial Requiem by Michael Nyman, designed to honor skaters, great, the beauty of skating, and the difficulty.
Second place, chasing Krylova and Ovsyannikov. A rare position for them.
Look at the difficulty of these steps. They have fallen several times this year, but that's not unusual because of the difficulty and the incredible intricacy of some of their steps. Talk about striking. There's no difficulty hearing the beat of this music. Look at these pull-throughs, the repetition. These moves, incredibly difficult. This program reminiscent of the impact that Bolero had in the mid-'80s with Torvill and Dean. Look at this. There are 3 rules to ice dancing: speed, speed, and more speed. So really, I think a program that holds your attention. The intensity of the beat, the intensity of the music is so strong that it holds you throughout the entire program. Whether they will gain first place only remains upon the performance of Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov. And some of the very dramatic moves that they do, these pull-throughs, very unusual, very striking, and extremely difficult. Very fast. And it's very understandable as to why they have fallen more times than most skaters do during the course of this competitive season. Everybody is skating faster and more intricately, and it shows here.
The conventional wisdom was that if they didn't have a fall here in the free dance, they would win. Now you have to wait to see what Krylov and Ovsyannikov do, but the technical merit marks, 5.8s, 5.9s.
Well, I'm not sure that this program was as fast as they usually skated, and it appeared that there were a few minor, you know, little just sort of slownesses in some of the moves.
Remember last year, though,
generally first rate.
12 perfect sixes overall when they won their second straight Europeans, and 4 sixes for presentation. The rest 5 9s for Grishuk and Platov.
Look, it's a magnificent program, and now it will only depend on Krylova and Ovsyannikov.
Back with more from Milan, but first to John Saunders in our Wide World of Sports studios in New York. John?
The next couple to skate from France, Marina Adesina and Gwendal Pizarra.
And on the ice right now in third place, heading into this free dance, Marina Adesina and Gwendal Pizarra of France, the 3-time and reigning French national champions.
Music Romeo and Juliet by Prokofiev. It's almost a balletic performance with a ballroom beat to it. You can hear the applied beat in the background of this music, which qualifies it for this competition.
Adesina and Pizarra have finished 4th at Europeans the past 2 years. Last year it was right behind another French team, Mignot and Lavanchy, who captured the bronze medal.
Now look at the speed that they have in these steps. Look at the lean, the edges, the moves. Very beautiful spirals. Where she carries him.
Team has had a very good year too. A couple of silvers and a bronze in their major international competitions, and when you look ahead to the Olympics, this would be a team that Punchline and Swallow from the US would have to charge ahead of to get on the podium.
Music, wonderful for a love dance. These moves, romantic, filled with tension. Very beautiful program.
wonderful reversal of the roles. I just thought that was a wonderful program. Maybe it's because I fall in love with that music every time I hear it, but I love their skating to it. I love the way they move to it. I felt that this is truly a young couple falling in love, and that's what ice dancing is all about.
They've taken over as the ice dancing team from France on the world scene. Anasina and Pezera will have their marks when we return. Up next, Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov of Russia take the ice, trying to win their first gold medal at the European Championships.
5-7, 5-7.
Irina Anasina, Gwendal Pezera of France in third place after the original dance. There are their technical merit marks, 5-6s and 5-7s.
And look at this slow motion of this reverse lift in which she lifts him. What an expression of youthful love. I mean, that's terrific.
This would be their first medal at Europeans, and the marks for presentation, 5-8s and 5-9s, and that puts them right now in second place.
Well, they had just wonderful speed and elegance and romantic performance. I liked it.
And the final skaters of the free dance, it is hard to overstate how important this moment is and how emotional it is for Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov of Russia. They have never defeated Grishuk and Platov in a major competition.
Of course, a totally different kind of love than that which we've just seen. Look again at the speed of their dancing.
Ovsyannikov, the Russian national champions this year, but Grishuk and Platov did not compete.
Can't you just see the kind of passionate, sexy love that she's progressing in this? So different from that of Romeo and Juliet.
their major international competitions this year. They ended up with a gold medal. But they did not meet their Russian rivals this year in any competition.
You sometimes watch your movements for the fascination of watching the movements rather than for the way they affect the dance. Carmen is a wonderful story. Sometimes we see a lot of different versions of it. This one, very dramatic, maybe somewhat overly dramatic stated, but the movements that made up the program were really intricate, difficult. Some of the movements really excessively good. Difficult, fast, and I think it's up to the judges to question how they will take the interpretation of this program.
And she's still playing the role to the end.
Now, look at this move. The extension, the balance. This is incredibly difficult and very dramatic. And she certainly has marvelous stretch on that. And that typifies what the technical merit of their program is and what is the strength of that program. Sometimes I think she over-dramatizes a tiny bit, but that's the way they interpret this program.
So it comes down to this now. Grishuk and Platov in the lead. The first set of marks, 5.7 to 5.9. And those are not as good as their fellow Russians. And the second set now for presentation, 5.8s, 5.9s, once again at the European Championships, as we have seen in other competitions around the world. Krylova and Ovsyannikov finish in second place behind Grishuk and Platov.
And I wonder if that has to do with the basic honesty of the dance that might have had an effect in the overall judgment. But what a wonderful evening of dancing. I mean, 3 really superb dances. I'm very, very proud of ice dancing. I think it's a wonderful aspect of this sport.
So the final standings look very familiar, but it was a different route we took to get here. Grishuk and Platov win the gold medal at Europeans for the 3rd straight year. And for the 2nd year in a row, a French team wins the bronze medal. This time it's Anasina and Pezarov. But what an Olympics it's going to be. Grishuk and Platov have now won 21 straight competitions. They'll try to defend their title there. And though it's a down moment now for Angelika Krylova, she and her partner Oleg Ovsyannikov will have one more chance to get a win in this bitter rivalry. Well, still to come from Milan, the pairs competition, featuring the incredible story of Yelena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikoridlidze. When we come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching the European Figure Skating Championships on ABC Sports.
No one should ever make a trip to Milan without hearing the sounds of opera music or paying a visit to La Scala, perhaps the most famous opera house in the entire world. So much great music has been made over the years here, and the careers of folks like Giuseppe Verdi. We hear him so often in figure skating. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 European Figure Skating Championships here on ABC. The pairs competition has already taken place. It's our chance to see some of the top skaters who will challenge the Americans in Nagano, including Yelena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikoridlidze of Russia. Last year, their first step on a long comeback road. Peggy Fleming joined Dick and I to call their gold medal performance here in Milan.
And you can see already from the way they're skating out on the ice, the look of them is very elegant.
Their sensitive, romantic pair. He is a wonderful partner.
I think this couple seems to have no weaknesses, and they are just exquisitely matched. And they are opening with side-by-side triple toe loops. Beautiful. Great beginning. And now their next move, which is a triple twist. Watch how she almost delays before she starts turning. Right there. Gives incredible height and excitement to this move.
These side-by-side double axles, the very dangerous forward edge, take off, and as you can see, she fell out of it, and it disrupted the impeccable start of this program.
And now watch the height of this throw, triple Salchow.
Much lower, because I think they were playing it safe after that.
Yes.
And I think that also unbalanced her, and you could see her off angle in the air.
In the warm-up, it was absolutely huge.
Look at his back. In fact, both of their backs. He's one of the rare partners who can stand majestically and present his partner with wonderfully classical style.
I think he has the elegance and posture of John Curry, but with incredible power and speed over this ice.
The French team, Abitbol and Bernadisse, in second place. They will skate next. Kozakova and Dmitriev in third, still to come. As we get a look at some of the top teams that the Americans, Ina and Dungeon and Mina and Sand, will have to face at the Olympics.
Coming up their final throw, triple loop, back outside edge. Oh, beautiful.
That had both speed and distance and height. Watch the pass-through of her foot. And a flip over and out. All of their moves are relatively simple in the sense that there's no flamboyance that is artificial, but they're difficult, beautifully done. Watch this combination of moves. Its ease and its style and position, which is what makes it so good.
And they have wonderful arms, both of them.
Extraordinary unison there. And this combination spin, quite distinct from the others that we've seen to this point.
Absolutely beautiful.
The continuation of an amazing story after a brain injury that almost stole her career. Elena and Anton, now you would have to argue, are the favorites in pairs heading to the Olympic Games in Nagano.